Welcome to episode 87 of Apartment Hacker. This is Mike Brewer, and at Apartment Hacker, it is my mission to tease out human potential in the multifamily space. Except for tonight. Tonight I want to talk about the Internet of Things in the multifamily space. So there is a lot of talk about smart homes, using your device to control things like a thermostat or a door lock in an apartment, and how that is really cool and how the price point is really getting to a place where you can actually afford to employ these things or put these things into apartments and to create experience for customers because they are expecting things like that. The thing that I am likely a little more excited about, actually I'm really a lot more excited about it, is how that impacts the service side of the business. And I use the word service for maintenance. So those two things mean the same thing to me. Service and maintenance in the multifamily space is going to be, at least as I see it, going to be impacted by the Internet of Things, even more so than on the customer side, and likely at a price point that is even a little more compelling than all those gadgets on the other side of the equation. So anyway, this is something that I think I first thought about this or talked about this or read about this, whatever, like 10 plus or minus years ago. And that is the idea of using RFID technology, which is really one of three components, right? There's hardware, there's software, and then there's this sort of way that hardware and that software communicates, the RFID communicates with the cloud, right? So that really is, like, in my mind, the backbone of the Internet of Things. And so if you think about that, from a service perspective, if you had smart garbage disposals and smart refrigerators and smart stoves and smart mechanics, even smart plumbing and flow rates through your plumbing in your individual apartment units, you could have the Internet of Things literally predicting a breakdown in the mechanics of your apartment home. And how cool is that? How cool is it that you could literally forecast and predict what is going to happen in a consumer's apartment before they do? So you could literally address the issue prior to it happening so that it doesn't happen, and you're way out ahead of any impact that might have, not only on the consumer, but the asset itself. Let's carry that one step further with another example. It's not one step further. It's a completely separate example. Inventory control at your company. So you have these shops all over the country, and there are inflows, meaning inflow of inventory, and there are exports, right? That you take out of the inventory and you employ that stuff in the apartment community. If everything was tracked by an RFID chip, or everything was smart, right, the inventory would know when to replenish itself. You could visualize, or maybe have, the vision is that you'd have a service technician that could walk into a shop and they could pick things out of a bin and they could put them in a bucket. And the second they walk through the scanner, just like at a grocery store, you walk out of the store, if there was a scanner there at the door, it literally scans everything that they've just put in their bucket, and it keeps inventory count. And so when it's time to order more escutcheons or diffusers for lights or light bulbs or whatever it is, the Internet of Things or the cloud, right, it just orders. It's like Amazon. When you subscribe to certain things, it just orders things. You don't have to think about it. It just does it. And so in my mind, that side of the business where service happens really, in my mind, more so than it does on the other side, be it the leasing and the sales side, and in the experience that is loaded there, and people living in the community can realize the benefit of the Internet of Things. The service side of the business is where it's all at. That's where the gold is. That's where the true incredible impact that the Internet of Things is going to have in our business, in our space. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Are you someone that really thinks that the impact is going to be really on the consumer side during the sales process, meaning I can promote all these really cool gadgets that are in the apartment that are going to make your life easy, or the other side, the service side, where you have impact to your bottom line because my imagination tells me you're going to save costs, but also where you're going to see sort of a preemptive service happening. So love to hear your thoughts. Let me know. Talk to you soon.